lover, she make I come over. If you want me, I will be your true lover. Send you lover, she make I come over. If you want me, I will be your true lover. I go love you forever, me and you together. Nobody go put us under. I go they love you whenever. Oh, I go love you forever, me and you together. Nobody go put us under. I go they love you whenever. Oh, it be you I want. It be you I need. It be you I choose. See, I cannot deny. She did for my mind. Temperature rising when you come around. Make you come over, make you know it's time. See, if we die for you, there's nobody but you. Anything I'll do, as long as I know you. Jungle over, she make I come over. If you want me, I will be your true lover. Jungle over, she make I come over. If you want me, I will be your true lover. I go love you forever, me and you together. Nobody go put us under. I go they love you whenever. Oh, I go love you forever, me and you together. Nobody go put us under. I go they love you whenever. Oh, it be you I want. It be you I need. It be you I choose. See, I cannot deny. She did for my mind.
Hey there, friends. What is going on? It's Kodiak here on a Sunday night, March 23rd, 2025. We did it. We're here. Another week in the books. And I guess we're looking ahead to another week, right? A lot going on in the world. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you had a little bit of time to game this weekend. I know myself, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, pumping out some videos. Livid has been playing 33 Immortals. And yeah, super excited to be with you guys. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I just checked the subreddit before I came on here, and I was actually really surprised that there's quite a few videos. Quite a few videos on there. And I apologize, guys, if that music was really loud coming into this. I frantically put it on as I was trying to finish a script. So I was like, oh my gosh, got to get the music on. And I was blasting it to you guys, so I apologize. I just turned my mic up a little bit, so you guys just let me know if I am either too loud, too quiet, whatever. We'll get it fixed. But anyways, we got about an hour and a half to hang out together tonight. We're going to go through the subreddit. As always, I got to do the pitch, right? Like, the pitch is part of my shtick at this point. If you are not part of the Legacy Gaming subreddit, we've got 63 members on here. We're, of course, looking to hit that first milestone, which is 100. As always, right? I always say this. Definitely my phrase, not Livid's phrase. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Looking to get to that 100 mark because we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Look at all these games we got to talk about. That is a healthy amount of games and a lot of stuff that I have not seen. Livid has been hyping me up for this Crosswind game. Not sure if you guys have seen that one, but like everything here looks pretty cool and new and different stuff I have not seen before. So super excited to dive in. And we're going to do that right off the rip with Lane Split. I will admit, Affection Ad 536, 1, thank you for posting this video. Appreciate you. 2, what is this thumbnail? Like, what are we even looking at here? This is so strange to me because when I see this, I think, okay, this is a motorcycle game, right? Like, that's logical, right? So I'm hoping it's a motorcycle game. That would be cool. I don't know the last time I've seen a motorcycle game. But then again, it could also be some, like, weird, artsy, dystopian Japanese game, right? Because you see, like, the letters over there. I don't know. Who knows what it could be? Before we get into that, though, I just realized I got to close out a couple programs here. Because if I don't do that, then this stream is going to be bogged down all night. Let me just close some stuff. Okay. We're back. See, that was super quick. So this is Lane Split. And, okay, 1:46. We'll see. I mean, we're starting with the bike, so who knows? I genuinely don't know what this could be about, right? Funky Mouse, they got 40 subscribers. We've got 1.8K thousand views, 1.8K views. Lane Split is a high-speed multiplayer motorcycle game, launching Q1 2025. All right, here we go. Oh. It's not bad looking. It's got a little grit to it. And I say a little grit, like almost like arcade grit. If that makes any sense at all. They got a points meter in the bottom right. I'm really curious what that is. Like, is the whole point here to see how much you can avoid traffic and you get points for that? Because it doesn't seem like we're racing anybody. Oh, different bikes. Very clearly a different bike. You can hear it. I do like the view. Like, this is crazy. This is like third person tight, right? It's like over the shoulder, almost like if you were like a GoPro off the side of the helmet. I don't know if that's first person, POV. I don't know what that is. This is clearly just like a straight up first person. I mean, I hope they show Wipeout Dion. There. Oh, no. Oh, lame. They should have shown that. Honestly, that would have been hilarious. So, I mean, look, here's the deal, right? These types of games are, they're definitely not a dime a dozen, but it's really interesting that a developer would choose to make a motorcycle game in 2025, right? Like, I don't think there's any historical premise for these types of games being incredibly popular. Oh my gosh. I told you it's been a long weekend. But it's cool, right? Like, you have all these different motorcycles. They clearly ride differently, sound differently. If you're looking for that kind of aesthetic feel, like, this is a type of game that if you're into this type of stuff, right, you pop on and you just kind of drift off and you play it. And, like, maybe there's some sort, maybe you play it on a controller, maybe you play it on a steering wheel. I'm not entirely sure how you would play this, like, to have the optimal experience. But I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. There is something about it, though. There's like a little grit to it that makes it feel like late 2010s, maybe even like mid 2010s, right? Because it doesn't feel like it's like Unreal 5 quality. There's a little bit of something to it, a little bit of grit in it that makes it feel a little less than it actually is. And maybe, I don't know if I can bump the quality up anymore. No, I can't. Like, that's it. I don't know. It's a cool-looking game. Like I said, it doesn't seem like it's a racing game. It seems like you're just trying to avoid traffic for as long as possible, and then eventually you crash. Or, I mean, maybe it is an endless game, right, where you just quite literally keep going until you crash. More and more traffic happens. Maybe it's like some sort of, generation where they're just constantly spawning in more cars. I don't know. I mean, these are all the questions that I have about the game. But anyways, it's called Lane Split. It's coming out Q1 2025, which, to be honest with you, Q1 2025 is over in, I don't know, 7 days. So maybe it's coming out within the next 7 days. I don't know. Thank you for posting that one, Affection Ad 536. Appreciate you. And we're going to go to another relatively new user on the subreddit here, Automatic Spring 580. You guys like your fives in your numbers. 536, 580. Earth from Another Sun, Q4 2025. This is giving me some Warhammer vibes right off the bat. I should say Warhammer 30K. Not Warhammer, just Warhammer 30K. Something spacey, something like spacey Imperial something. Looks like we could it's possible to request access on Steam. So we'll do that second if we like the trailer. This is another one that I have not seen. I know nothing about this game. Oh, it's like watermarked up the yin yang. It's all right. It's all right. We'll deal with it.
Citizens of Aurora, in the face of the Urslan threat, we shall not cower.
Oh.
We will build and thrive. Our strength begins here. Within our secure base, we will forge the foundation of a prosperous future. Gather resources, fortify defenses, and expand our state. Each brick laid is a testament to our resolve. But
Oh,
construction
here we go. Let's go.
alone will not
That's a little
ensure
better.
our survival. The state empowers you to nurture residents, ensuring their contributions strengthen our cause. Raise them and watch as they transform into the backbone of the state. Explore uncharted systems, forge alliances, and uncover treasures that will bolster our fight. Engage the enemy in glorious roguelike battles where each encounter is a test of your
I mean,
mettle.
every time I think this game is
Citizens,
kinda
stand
garbo,
resolute.
then I see
Build
like a
and
clip I'm like,
fight
oh, that's
for
kinda cool. The
humanity's
graphics, I
future.
don't know what's going on with the graphics. It looks
All
incredibly well
hail
done.
the state.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. It's really hard to put my finger on this because, quite honestly, it didn't look great, right? So I was kind of right? It's Warhammer 40K ish, kind of, not really, but it's space. It's space. I think honestly, like space totalitarianism. I think of Warhammer 40K. Like that's just what I. Yeah, maybe Command and Conquer is like a better way to describe it, L-Band, but it's clearly a survival game. You see the hunger and the thirst meter up top there, but then there's also like a building and a dominance component to this. Like you see all these like little hovels that people are sleeping in. Yeah, so I think Command and Conquer is probably a better way to kind of describe it. But everything kind of looks a little janky, right? Like there's some decent texturing on some of the pieces, but then like the character models here look terrible. Like they look so cartoony. And then you got the ship stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. You can go to different planets. Like, all right, neat. How does the planet constructs work, right? Like, is it procedurally generated? Is it, handcrafted? And then the combat actually kind of surprised me. Like, minus the video quality being pretty crap, the combat itself looked like a fun little romp, right? Like, you see, like, kind of almost like a Borderlands-style combat. Like, lots of numbers on the screen, lots of particle effects. I don't know. It could be something. It could be nothing. This is coming out early access Q4 2025, so end of this year. And we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this one. We'll keep one eye on this one because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is something. I'm actually pretty confident that it's like a middling something, maybe. I'm not confident that it's a game, right? Like when I say a game, I mean like a game, right? This is a game. It's a thing. Is it going to get any better than that? I don't know. We're going to have to keep an eye on this one. Let's try and find higher quality video post, like the actual quality of the video. Like this is BS. There's no way that was 4K. That looked like garbage. All right, we're going to move right along to FBC Firebreak gameplay trailer. I just saw something about this game the other day, and I think it had something to do with the fact that the developer, I got to look it up. FBC Firebreak, right? The developers of this game are Remedy Entertainment, who made what? What games have they made? Alan Wake, that's what it was. So what they said in the article that I read was that they designed this game to be for people who have lives, essentially, and that there's going to be a lot of flexibility with how often you have to actually check in to play the game, right? So no long-term battle passes, like you can do your battle pass whenever, whatever system they come up with, but also like there's not going to be any FOMO components to it. If any other company said that, I would probably be like, well, that's bullshit, right? But like the Remedy guys have constantly proven, Max Payne, Alan Wake, like they don't make these types of competitive games. They have a moral spine, if you will, when it comes to the way they make games. So it's really interesting that they are dipping into this territory. I don't know exactly what type of game this is. I just have heard of it, and I read a little bit of that article because I was genuinely curious. Monetization of games is something that I find fascinating. So for a developer that's well-regarded, Alan Wake 2, obviously a smash success, for them to be like, oh, we're going to do something different, but also it's a game for people who genuinely don't have a lot of time in their lives, that's kind of cool. So this is FBC Firebreak, not my favorite name for a game. I often talk about this with, I usually talk about this with Livid kind of behind the scenes, but like you have to come up with a memorable name for your game. And starting with 3 letters is not the way to do that. Kind of strange. Anyways, 2-minute trailer. Let's see what this one is all about. This is the FBC Firebreak gameplay trailer from the Future Game Show's Showcase of 2025. So far, so good.
Get those lights off!
We've had reports of rogue sticky notes replicating across this sector. If you don't cut back their numbers, this whole place will be yellow by morning.
Which is also a weapon. I don't understand the sticky notes thing. Oh, that's kind of...
This crisis ain't over. Now get through the containment door to the next zone.
Definitely control vibes.
Safe room dead ahead. Might contain something useful, but it'll probably attract a lot of... Oh, you already opened it. Never mind. You sure kicked the nest. There's hiss all over you.
Stand back! Piggy's coming out!
I'm paper. You gotta shoot him off me! Last containment door's open. Go, go!
I think I heard something.
Oh, geez.
All right, crew. Time to clean house.
All right, coming summer 2025. Sorry about the audio, guys. It's hard to, like, nothing changed from last week to this week, so I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not entirely sure why some things are working and some things aren't, considering that nothing has changed. But you guys should be able to hear me now, no problem. I'll make sure that the videos are a little quieter. I'm pleasantly surprised with this game. Yeah, so these guys made Control alongside Max Payne and Alan Wake, and it's very clear, right? This game is taking place in the Control environment. Like, this is Control. Like, this is the world of Control. There's elements of Control here. I don't think this has anything to do with the story or the game, like the game itself, but it's set in that universe, which is pretty cool. It's Left 4 Dead, right? Like, that's what they're trying to build. They're trying to build their own Left 4 Dead, which I think is a relatively smart play, considering that, like, most of the games in the Left 4 Dead space, right, Back 4 Blood, things like that, have just not really panned out. I don't know why, though, right? Like, do people not like this type of co-op gameplay? Maybe that kind of era of that kind of game is just done. But I do think what they're doing here, and it's smart, right, is some really quirky things. Like the sticky notes aspect of it, we don't know exactly what it is, but it's actually pretty interesting. The weapons also look really unique, right? There's some traditional ones. I think we saw an MP40, like World War II style weapon. This is almost like a World War II style British weapon, I believe. I can't remember what the LMG is called, but very clearly like World War II, but also like there's some experimental stuff, which is so on brand for Control. So you've got a game set in like the World War II-esque era, maybe an alternate universe or something like that. And then you've got these quirky weapons, and you kind of mix all that together with the crazy premise and the sticky notes, and then you get to like this boss fight, which completely sold me. Like, there is something here. I don't know exactly what that is, but I actually think it's pretty interesting. And for the game to be coming out in the summer of 2025, like summer is a really interesting time to release games, right? So for most part, you know, people are taking their vacations, they've got extra PTO, or if they're a student, they're home for the summer. You know, obviously not everybody's playing video games, but like a game like this where your buddies are around, hey, you know, want to hop on FBC Firebreak? Terrible name. I'm going to stand by that one. I hate it. But, you know, want to hop on Firebreak, right? Play this game. It's a quick one, right? You can just tell it's a 15 to 25 minute, you know, kind of session, chaos, constant action. Some people really like that stuff. And I think the game looks good. And when you look at a game like this, if it's a no-name developer, you have to take it with a different kind of grain of salt. I still take it with a grain of salt. Every game I take with a grain of salt. But you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, these are guys and gals who have developed really good games. Max Payne 1 and 2, Control, Game of the Year, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, which still surprises me. I know it won awards. I don't know if it was Game of the Year, but it won a ton of awards. Alan Wake 2 won a ton of awards. So it looks kind of good. So anyways, that's FBC Firebreak coming out summer 2025. Some really cool stuff with this one. We'll see if it pans out, and definitely one we're going to keep our eye on. All right. Hey, Sa, how you doing? Happy Sunday. All right, we're going to move right along to another Future Game Show Spring Showcase video, Painkiller. I want to say we looked at a Painkiller something or other. This is only 53 seconds long, so super quick. We won't make a big to-do of this one just because it is so short. It's funny, like I feel like developers are going shorter and shorter with their trailers, which is fine. It's just I've noticed it as a little bit of a trend, mainly because doing, these reaction things with you guys every week. Oh, this is Saber game. Okay. Am I supposed to know what this is? Because this is very clearly Doom. Oh, with co-op. Monday lunchtime. All right, so I do not know Painkiller at all, but it's very clear that this is. It's very clear that this is Doom. All right, 3D Realms, Saber. We got to look at this one again. I kind of want to slow this one down because there's a lot going on here. Let's take it at half speed because I am really curious to see kind of like all the things that the game kind of showcased because it was fast. So you got kind of heavy-hitting pistol there with some sort of electrical component. You got a crossbow. Then you've got it's just too hard to keep up with all this. Tons of weapons. I think that is the key here. And as we know, with like Doom-style games, boomer shooters, weapons are a huge part of the allure, right? A huge part of why people play those games. They look really good, and quite honestly, Doom with friends. I think that's the best way to describe it, Mudspawn, because that's what I'm seeing here. Tons of enemies, tons of explosions, lots of cool weapons, everything blowing up in a million different pieces. And to be able to do that with friends is kind of cool. I'm actually surprised, now that I say it out loud, that Doom has not done a co-op game yet. Now, I could be wrong, because I don't play a lot of Doom games. But it seems strange that for a PvE game that lends itself so well to this type of setup, that Doom has not done that before. So I think Painkiller actually has something here. Because, when I got into Doom, my dad got me into Doom, however many decades ago. So to be able to be like, yo, Dad, there's a new Doom kind of game out there. He plays very specific types of games. And be like, yo, Dad, no new Doom kind of game out there called Painkiller, we can play together. I think he'd be down for that, quite honestly. So pretty cool for a 53-second trailer. I put my foot in my mouth. I said, "Oh, 53-second trailer, not that long." Excuse me. I didn't say it was going to be bad. I just said it was shorter. And here we are on the other end of it. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, kind of cool. Something to keep on the list for fall 2025 and keep an eye on." All right, I saw this one, and I'm scared. I am really scared. There are games that Livin and I. We look at games throughout the year, and I'm like, okay, this one's going to be really good, or at least it has promise, right? We never assume a game is going to be good. We assume a game is going to be a game, right? Not a full game, and I say that jokingly, but I mean that in the quite literal sense. We expect a game to release as a game, not a half-baked whatever. Nightingale was a game that we were super optimistic about just based on like its premise, right? You've got all these portals, and the whole point of the portals is to bring you to the magical city of Nightingale after this like calamity. Didn't pan out that way. I don't know how many people. I'm actually very curious. Nightingale. I'm going to guess. All right, put your guesses in the chat right now. How many people are actively playing Nightingale? I really want to know what you guys think. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. How many people are actively playing Nightingale right now? My guess is somewhere between 100 and 150. That's my guess. 87. Tetris says 87. Come on, I got to have at least one more guess out there before I check. One more guess. How many people do we think are active? 33. Okay, there we go. Okay. Wow. I am a little bit surprised. Let's check out the chart here. Let's see. Okay, so clearly the announcement of the new content gave it a little spike here over the last week, but perpetually it was down here in the hundreds, right? Like, so it launched at, oh my gosh, it launched very bad. Release, it had 47K, immediately dropped down to here, major update, 6,000 players. I mean, this is a fledgling game. So, look, this update clearly has sparked a little bit of interest for some players. But this was the whole concept, was like you want to get to the city of Nightingale because it is like the epicenter of everything. We will see if this city update actually is anything real or if it's the developers, you know, kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit more. If there's real substance here, this is big because they can market this, right? Like they have been trying to push this game quietly in the background for a little bit now. It did also come out very close to Enshrouded, and Enshrouded was and probably still is the better game. I did not play Nightingale outside of the playtest that Livid and I did, and I wasn't impressed. And if I'm not impressed in a playtest, I'm probably not going to play the main game unless we plan on doing a review. And we get this criticism all the time. It's like, why do you guys only cover games that you enjoy? Like, sorry, I actually got to the point before I meant to. Why do you only review games and give them positive scores? Well, because to be honest with you, at this point in my life, I only want to play good games. Like, I do. So that's why, like, our games, for the most part, aren't about, like, oh, yes, you need to go run out and buy this game because it's amazing. No, there's nuance to it. Like, even in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm just picking that one because it's the last review that I did, is like, yeah, this game is good if you want X, Y, and Z thing. It's also bad because of A, B, and C thing. There's nuance when you talk about games. And that's one thing that I just absolutely hate about like video game culture nowadays. You can't be in the middle. Like, this isn't politics. Like, you can be in the middle for games. You can say something is good and bad. Nobody gets hurt if that's the case. So a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows, yeah, it's a good game. Are there things about it that most people will like? Yeah. Are there things about it that most people won't like? Yeah. Fine. When I look at a game like Nightingale, it goes back to what I said before. It's like the game wasn't really complete. And to be honest, it wasn't that fun. And that's because the systems didn't really support like the gameplay loop. Everything was a little clunky. And that's technical stuff, right? Like that's like the systems were not designed in a way that were engaging and fun. Hopefully, and we're going to check it out and I'll stop talking, this update solves some of that. I'm not convinced that it will, but maybe it does. And we're going to find out together. So this is the Nightingale City update, new adventure, tier 5 gear, and more. Here we go.
Walkers, the wait is over. Nightingale City has arrived.
It's cool.
This update brings a sprawling new adventure, powerful new gear, enhanced customization, and major improvements to building and combat. The last refuge of humanity is under siege. The Fae and their automaton queen have unleashed chaos upon the city, and only you
that's kind of cool. I like that
effect.
effect.
Across rooftops, clear the streets house by house, and navigate the labyrinthine sewers beneath the city.
Huh.
Battle through 3 massive quadrants, shutting down bound invasions, closing corrupted portals, and activating pale pylons to reclaim the city. Face your most dangerous challenge yet, the Automaton Queen to safeguard Nightingale City.
All right, not
Take your
bad.
creativity further with these building enhancements. Smoother structure rotation and placement for precise construction. The Herbalist tile set offers stunning glass architecture.
They
New
are pretty.
Regency
I'll give them
furniture
that.
set bring refined luxury to your home. The previously added Frontier tile set lets you build a Wild West-inspired estate paired with the new Wrangler outfit. New Tier 5 weapons and tools are now available for purchase, offering stronger crafting potential and powerful new
God,
abilities.
these interfaces are
2
just still
charms per
so
weapon
bad.
and tool, allowing greater customization. New Fabled charms introduce game-changing
Like, who
mechanics,
wants to
including
sift through all of
homing
these menus and
projectiles for the
stuff?
slingbow. Instant
I mean, though, some
reload
of the
for
weapons are
pistols
cool.
after
I'll give 'em that.
landing all 6 shots. Gradual acceleration while
Yeah,
gliding
that's
for
exactly
better
it,
traversal.
Mudspawn. We're going to talk about that. That's exactly how I feel.
For the first time, fully customize your gear's appearance. At the Glamour Station, you can
All
now
right, that's
dye
kinda
and
cool.
modify clothing, gear,
I love
and
giving
weapons,
control to the player
unlocking
and, like,
new materials and
even though it's a
colours to
little
create your
wonky in terms of
perfect
just like the
Realm Walker
interface, like,
aesthetic.
okay, cool.
With
I like
Nightingale
that.
City, Tier 5 gear, expanded building options, and full customization, there's never been a better time to step into the Fey Realms. The battle for humanity's last refuge has begun. Welcome to Nightingale City.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel the same way that Mudspawn feels in the chat. The game feels bland. It feels like the whole premise of this, right? And they said it in this video, is you're fighting through the city of Nightingale, defeating these enemies and closing down portals. When you look at this gameplay, you're like, oh my gosh, it's this massive city, and I'm shooting this one enemy on a rooftop. This does not feel like a modern game. It feels like an outdated game. And stuff like this is really cool. I really like that like grapple hook effect. Love that. Never seen that before, and I actually really like it. But like this stuff is like so lame, and even the textures and the world itself, it just feels so boring. It feels like a game that I played 15 years ago. Now that's not a good thing, right? That's not a nostalgia thing. The game just doesn't quite feel fleshed out. And I hate that for the game because I really was optimistic about it when it first was announced because it had a cool concept. I also think there is an issue now. Like I'm there. I'm 100% there. There is an issue now with the PvE survival game. Nobody wants to play them. They don't. And we can argue this in the chat. Like I would genuinely love to have a conversation about this because this is a PvE co-op survival game. There is no external threat to the player other than enemies in the world. And like if you wanted to play a game where you could build your fantasy house, go play The Sims. Go play Inzoi, that new one that's coming out, right? What are you getting in this game other than like, okay, you get over that initial power curve, right? And then what? Then you just are a god in this world. And that's not fun. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something. Yeah, you're right. Alicima, you're right. Enshrouded is a PvE survival game. I think there's more of an adventure component to Enshrouded than there is to a game like Nightingale, right? You get dropped into Nightingale and it's pretty much just like open world, lots of stuff to harvest, no points of interest, nothing really interesting to do. Whereas Enshrouded was more directional and like it was closer to a Legend of Zelda than it was to a Rust. And those games are not quite right, but you get what I'm saying. It was more an action-adventure game than it was a true survival game. This is a survival game. This is the first time I've seen any sort of like quest that has any sort of like real direction to it. And okay, so what? You go through these three zones of the city, you kill a few enemies, and that's the charm of the game? Yeah, I don't know. I think you guys are spot on. It's kind of soulless. It's kind of soulless. It's kind of bland. It's kind of boring. Again, I don't know if this is an early access game. I'm now curious to see if it is. because I don't actually know. Nightingale. Oh my gosh, it's only $18. Recent reviews are mostly positive. Yeah, so it's early access, so they're still doing stuff, which is cool. But I mean, you can see, like, they're hemorrhaging, right? They don't have a lot of sales of this game. You know, it does actually have a decent amount of reviews, 13,000 reviews. Not bad. Big update. We'll see if that actually sparks anything. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath on this one. Anyways, what's up, guys? Troy, Fed, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having a great night. All right, we're going to keep moving on here. Automatic Spring 580 posted this one. Kaizen, a factory story. Livid, don't kill me. This is a Gundam? Is that right? Is this a Gundam? I think it's a Gundam. I don't know. All right, we're going to check this one out. Very weird, unique project. I haven't seen anything similar to
Welcome
it.
to
Okay, I like that. I love weird projects. Nothing wrong with a weird project. Posted on IGN 3 weeks ago, only 28,000 views. Okay, not a lot of views. That's okay. Doesn't mean anything. Just means people aren't talking about it. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Matsuzawa Manufacturing Factory Number 1.
This doesn't make any sense. I came from America to work in business. I don't know anything about engineering.
I have no idea what I'm watching right now. What is happening?
You'll be putting together production lines before you know it.
We're living in a time of rapid technological development. Are we truly improving people's lives with them?
I've been running this factory for 20 years. You really think you could do better?
David, I want you to promise me one thing. Don't give up, no matter what.
Don't worry. I still have no idea what I'm doing.
Dude, you and me both. What was this game? Like, okay, we're going to turn this one back to 0.5 speed because I think I know, right? And the only reason I think I know is because I have a video editing background. Oh my gosh, I don't want to watch that. I just want to watch stuff about video games. Okay. So here's what I think this is, and I'm going to pause it when we get there. Once I can see the bottom. Okay. It's a timeline, right, on the bottom. It's a timeline of stuff. So you've got the B mechanism, which is this mechanism here. You've got the A mechanism, which is here. I don't know. But then you've got all these pieces over here. I'm trying to figure. Okay, so he's moving the A down there, and then he's going to put A left and right with a grab, and then A up with a grab. Okay, so it grabs it, it moves it along the track, and then it's going to push it up. Okay, now we're in a totally different one. This is wild, man. I don't know how anybody. I mean, this is going to have a seriously good tutorial. Because this is an intense puzzle type of game. Like, they're building a camera here. Look at all these steps. So A and E are moving at the exact same time, both going up. Where the heck is E? Oh, here's E, right here. So A, I assume that means it's going out. Then it's moving down. Oh, no. Moving up, then moving down. Then it's moving the arm left and right. That's moving up, down, moving the arm. I guess left and right? I don't know. Fascinating. These types of games, man, are completely lost on me. I love a good puzzle game. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But this is crazy. It's puzzle-like. I don't know exactly what genre this is. You'd classify this. But then it's the flip. So the pink is a flip. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. It doesn't matter. This game's got me completely flustered. We're moving on. This game's got me completely flustered. I need something that I actually understand. These all look like games I don't understand. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's built for math folks. That is not me. All right, we're gonna just keep going up the list tonight. Inferial. We've looked at this game before. I think this game is getting pretty close to launch, if I'm not mistaken, because I've seen a lot of trailers for this particular game. This is a 7-minute game overview trailer. I'm actually pretty excited to watch this one with you guys because this is one of those games that's kind of been on my radar. I don't know if I want to play it, but maybe this will convince me. I need something to convince me to play this game. So maybe it's this. Here we go.
So what is Imperial? In a nutshell, Imperial is a third-person action RPG about transcendental revelation. The game begins with your arrival on an unexplored planet to join an expedition that's discovered a monolith built by a lost ancient civilization. And so you are immediately presented with these grand questions. Why is it here? Who built it? What was its original purpose? And perhaps even what power might it still contain? And as you progress through the story, you'll explore themes and ideas about humanity's place in the cosmos. Some of these themes have largely fallen out of favor in the modern world, perhaps you could even say postmodern world. Things like duty, sacrifice, a tragic view of life, a sense of civilizational impetus, the idea that humanity is on a journey through history and that there is a meaning and purpose to that. And so as you uncover what this ancient civilization managed to achieve, the question you have to consider is whether this still has relevance to the modern world. Despite all of its technological advancements, has the modern world forgotten some things that are important to humanity's story? To begin your journey towards these discoveries, you will of course first need to make your character. We have a fairly extensive character creation. You can play as male or female, and there's quite a lot of customization options beyond that. When you're happy with how you look, then you select a background. So this is not a hugely important decision, honestly, because the equipment that you get as part of the background you choose is going to be replaced as you play the game, but it does give you a little bit of flavor to begin the game with. Once you finalize your character, you arrive in the hub to meet the rest of the expedition. Each member of the expedition has their own personal questline. All of these questlines have multiple endings, and it's even possible to fail them entirely. These quests each explore a different facet of the human condition, and this is based on the ideals of the individual themselves, the challenges they faced, and what they hope to ultimately achieve. But again, all revolving around this incredible discovery that the expedition has made. The gameplay of Imperial is a mix of traditional third-person action and I would say isometric ARPG elements as well, in the way that abilities work in the game. The first thing to take note of is which weapon archetype you want to use, as this will have a big effect on your overall playstyle. Each weapon comes with its own core moveset, and they differ quite a lot from each other. You can change this later on, so it's not a class-based system. You know, you pick up loot, and you can change your equipment, and that includes the weapon, which will change your core moveset. But in addition to that, and this is where those isometric ARPG elements come in, you equip abilities to your action bar. But you can only have a limited number of them equipped, so you equip 4 abilities, and in addition to that, an ultimate ability, but there are many, many more in the game. Choosing what abilities you like is a big part of making your build. Other aspects of character progression and making your build is of course finding new equipment, which is the main way to increase your stats or gain new stats. So there is a strong RPG aspect to the gameplay, but there are skill-based elements as well. You can do perfectly timed attacks, deflects, parries, and even some abilities have extra effects if they are perfectly timed. One of the most
Tetris, that's how I
and
feel
unique
too,
features
man.
of the game is
I'm like,
something
oh,
that
this
we
is like
call
Xbox
cartograms.
360 level gameplay.
Cartograms are the levels that you play in the game, and you can almost think of these as a blueprint for some of the aspects that you're encountering in a level. I want to highlight that we don't do procedural level design. We do the level design by hand because we wanted to create all sorts of interesting details, shortcuts, hidden nooks and crannies, and things like that. But what enemies you face, what loot you can find, how many lives you get, what element you'll need a matching resistance to, all of these things and several more are randomly generated. So while the overall level layout is fixed, there'll be many ways in which each level is different depending on the attributes of the cartogram you're using to access it. One of the key things that is decided by the cartogram is the loot table of the boss, which means you can somewhat target the items that you're going for. There's still an element of chance to this. A boss might only drop 2 out of a possible 4 items in a loot table, as an example, but it does give you some ability to direct your playtime towards the goals and rewards that you have in mind. The last thing to note with cartograms is that you can actually share these with other players. So if you found a cartogram that had a really powerful item, you can share it with another player so they have a
That's
chance
kind
of
of cool.
getting
I
it
haven't
too.
seen an
You could
in-game
give it
mail
away,
system
or
in
you
a
could
long
trade it.
time.
So there's a cooperative aspect which allows players to share the cool levels they find with each other. I think it's important to emphasize that Imperial is a single-player game. It plays like a single-player game, but we do have a few asynchronous, cooperative, multiplayer elements that will allow you to just feel the presence of other players in the world as you play through it.
I know they are.
My
I know they
personal
are, Troy.
favorite
That's
of
why
these is
I'm
a
like so
feature that we
fascinated
call
by
Into
it.
the Ether. When you defeat a boss, you'll get this tear in the ether appear, and this is an opportunity for you to donate, essentially gift an item from your inventory into the ether, and this will cause it to potentially appear in another player's game. And if it goes through this process, it will get a big increase to its stats. But there's no immediate direct reward for you doing this, which means it's really up to the players, in fact the community as a whole, to make it work. And I'm quite curious to see how, or even if, players engage with this feature. At Silent Games, though we are a small team, our ambition is to make feature-rich games that have a great deal of depth to them, both in terms of the mechanics, the combat, the RPG systems, but to the narrative as well, with themes that are thought-provoking and a detailed backstory to give context to the world and the universe. Our hope for this game is, maybe it almost sounds too obvious, but we hope players enjoy it for what it is, a single-player RPG experience with a thought-provoking story, with a lot of RPG mechanics and systems that you can really get stuck into, playing around with these systems to make interesting builds, and with a pretty substantial endgame to try those out in. If people play through the game, they enjoy that experience, they may be a bit surprised about the amount of depth there is to the game and the size of the endgame. We have a fully fleshed out New Game Plus, for example, with some features that are exclusive to New Game Plus even. So play through all of that and then leave happy, then we would consider that to be a big success.
It's funny. Well, I will say this. Here's the first thing I'm going to say. That 7 minutes went by quick, right? That's a good sign. But the game itself, there's something about... Oh my gosh, I really got to stop screwing this up. The game itself, I agree with Liv. There is a disconnect with the world and the enemies for me. Like, I understand what they're trying to go for, right? It's like this advanced civilization. They have got, you know, all of these automatons and stuff. It feels very cold, right? But the game director, you just heard him say it. He's talking about like they're trying to tap into like the human experience and base the game around those themes. But well, everything is giant metal and stone structures with like faceless, nameless enemies like Captain, which is one of the bosses we saw. There's nothing here that inspires the human experience. It's very much like a dystopian futuristic type of thing. And like, I don't know, I'm not feeling it, although I do agree that the gameplay looks okay. I think the RPG elements look pretty cool. The fact that you can hunt down your own gear, or at least try and target some of the gear that you want, is really interesting. But like, none of these enemies are memorable. None of these moments in this trailer are memorable, and I think that is a huge problem for this game. One of the things outside of, we talk about innovation all the time on the stream, right? Games that are trying to innovate, do something different. Another piece of that is the game has to be memorable. You have to remember the game. Think about games like Hollow Knight. Think about games like Destiny. Think about games like Halo. The first time you play them, or even the memories you have of them, they have stuck with you over the years for a certain reason, right? Fable is another one. Like, there is nothing here that makes me think that I'm ever going to remember this game. Not only not a year. I'm not going to remember this game in 6 months. And he can talk about all of the, you know, the game is about the human experience. Every, you know, NPC at the hub dives into a different aspect of the human condition. Okay, that's cool. But, like, that is not going to make for a memorable game. Maybe there are moments, but, like, I don't know. There's something here. The pieces do not add up to a whole. And I think that's the best way I can describe it, because as I see it, and I have seen this game 3 or 4 times now, I'm not convinced that it's going to be good. I'm convinced that it's going to be a couple thousand people playing this game for the first week, and then everybody's going to get bored. Because there's nothing to keep you here emotionally. And I'm not saying that a game has to have all of these characters that pull at your heartstrings. Like, no, I'm not saying that. But you actually have to give a shit about the games that you're playing. And if something like this is so cold and lifeless and like, okay, it's got good action, that's only going to hold you for a certain amount of time. And it's not a long amount of time. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. There's something about this one that I'm not vibing with. Although, like I said, the gameplay looks pretty good. Some of the skills look cool. There's something off here. There's something like the team itself. There's a disconnect between the way that the team has designed this game. Is like the combat team is not talking to the environments team, is not talking to the narratives team. The pieces are not all adding up to a whole. And I think it's going to make for, a relatively quiet, not very exciting game. It was posted 2 days ago. This game is coming out soon, and it's only got 28,000 views. There's no buzz around this game. And like this is a good trailer. It was a good deep dive into the game. It's just not that interesting. There's nothing here that's overly interesting. Maybe it's just a good game, and that's okay too. Maybe it's just a decent, okay 6 out of 10 game. Those games exist. There's not a lot of them anymore, but those games do exist, and maybe this is one of them. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. But my barometer for games and usually if a game is good or bad is pretty well tuned. We'll see. Anyways, that's Imperial. Thanks for posting that one. Difficult spare. We are doing okay on time, but I do want to jump up here because I want to dive into Crosswind, because Livid told me I had to look at this one, and I want to leave enough time to talk about this one. I know it's only 10:19, 10:20. We still have 40 more minutes, but I do want to dive into this because I am very excited to see what the hype is around this game. Because Livid has been like, oh, dude, you got to sign up for the playtest, but don't watch the trailer. You're gonna love this game, but don't watch the trailer. Okay, well, I'm not watching the trailer, or I haven't watched the trailer until right now. This is called Crosswind. This came out of nowhere. Let's just see together if Livid is actually onto something or if he's full of hot air. All right, Livid might be on something. All right. Okay. I am interested. My interest has been piqued. I have a question, and I think it's the most important question of it all. Is there PvP to this? Because if this game does not have PvP, it is a huge miss. Because, like, every pirate game I have ever played has had PvP. And I think it has to, right? Because what is this game trying to rival? It's trying to rival Rare's game. And it's completely blanking on me what the heck the name of that game is right now. But let's just think of all the pirate games that have come out in the last couple of years. Skull and Bones is the first one that comes to mind. crazy that a game like this is exactly what Skull and Bones should have been, right? An adventure, survival, co-op experience. Hopefully, now we didn't see the gameplay. We saw some cinematics, but we didn't see the gameplay of naval battles, right? Because that is, I think, the secret sauce that all of these games have been missing. Sea of Thieves is the one that got it right? But I think, as always, when a game has been out for 10 plus years or however long, Sea of Thieves, that's the name of the game. Thank you very much, Alice. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Alicema. There we go. Sea of Thieves got right, but it's been out for 10 years. People are looking for the alternative. It's the same thing with World of Warcraft. It's the same thing with Destiny. People are looking for an alternative for a game that's been out for a long time. Because if you have a game that has that much long-term success, I'm so sorry. I'm going to just say Allie. I think that's probably the only way I can do this. I'm terrible with names. Livid can confirm. Anyways, people look for alternatives, right? That's just the name of the game. And this is offering something that I think Sea of Thieves is offering, but it's different. And that's okay. So I think was there another trailer up there, Liv? Yeah. Building the base from the trailer. I want to see what this is all about. Because I think this is the part of it that Sea of Thieves doesn't have, right? The survival crafter part of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I don't think Sea of Thieves has any sort of like base building. So if you then have the Ark or Rust component of it, okay, if you have Rust with pirates, yeah, that's going to be hella successful. Let's see. Just a little time lapse of it, which is cool too. I like the circular pieces. That's really neat. Very piratey. Yeah, that's cool. I'd be really curious to see if the ships can actually... Oh, here we go. A little walkthrough. Oh, not quite. Looks really nice with the lighting like this and the rain. It does look pretty cool. It's just I want to know if everything here is cosmetic or if there's some gameplay implications. Yeah, I think this one's got something, guys. Like I said, Livid did have me sign up. If you are interested in this one, Crosswind. So it is free. It's coming soon. You can add it to there's a playtest right here. So if you're interested in this one, you can check out the playtest. Okay, so there's definitely there's combat. There's combat. Look at this. Because there's cannonballs in the bottom left. We're steering the ship. So yes, there is naval combat. That's huge. We've got like a very traditional survival. I actually kind of like these icons. They thought they were pretty generic to start, but I actually think that everything here is really themed nicely. It's subtle, but it's themed really nicely. You've got kind of the grungy, it's like grunge or ornamentation. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but think about like pirate stuff. Think about like Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a lot of grunge to it, but there's also some fanciness to it, right? It's like fanciness in the gutters. And I see a little bit of that here with the icons, with some of the ornamentation on the UI elements. It's pretty cool. Some PvE sections here. Got multiple cannons here, different types of cannonballs. Yeah, online PvP. Let's see, is there anything else here to kind of... Okay, here we go. Currently in playtest. First story arc, 30 to 40 hours of swashbuckling adventure. 3 biomes with unique resources, enemies, and bosses. Survival gameplay, building, and crafting. 3 new playable ships. 1 merchant ship. Oh, interesting. Wait, Danny, what are you talking about? Tomorrow Expedition 33. What are you talking about? You're in the wrong month, brother. Ground and naval combat. Tortuga Social Hub. And then all of this stuff is in development. I'm fascinated. I can't wait to check this one out. That's a good find. That's a good find. I am kind of excited to see where this one goes. All right. Let's jump back down. I actually want to check out this one, Cloudheim. Survival crafting and physics-based combat. More in the comments. So, Livingston got us hooked up here with the official trailer as well as the combat trailer. And the reason why this one is piquing my interest is because it actually looks like a game I used to grow up playing, Dark Cloud. I don't know if anybody's ever played that game. I mean, very clearly this is an Eastern-style game, which, as you guys probably know, is not my cup of tea. But let's just see, because maybe there's something here. This one's called Cloudheim. I'll tell you guys, I don't hate that. And again, this is not my type of game usually, but this doesn't feel quite the same as like a Blue Protocol or, I don't know, any of the other million Eastern style, RPGs that we see. It's a survival game, and you can kind of see it, but I also get a lot of Legend of Zelda vibes from this game. Almost more adventure with a survival undertone or like a minor component to the game. But then there was that scene where they build like that massive town, and I don't know if that was part of like a town progression system or if you actually are building that right here. Because it looks like you could actually build that, which would be amazing because it's really well done. Like there's a lot of really small details to make each of these areas feel kind of homey and kind of lived in, right? The exact opposite of like what we were talking about with some of the other games where things feel empty. There's a lot of detail to the world itself that is actually really catching my eye, and I'm like, oh, really cool. Some of the gameplay, like the combat itself, just kind of looks like button mashy, which I don't love. Like I like a little bit more thought in my combat, but it's hard to tell because you can't see anything on the UI. Very clearly, all the characters are using, different weapons and skills, but everything the way that the trailer is cut together is like just kind of bombarding you with a lot of different stuff. I want to check out this combat trailer because maybe this will explain a little bit of it. It's only 2 minutes long, so let's see if this one does anything more to kind of help us understand the game. Or if it's more just punching and kicking.
Hi, I'm Billy Quick from Noodlecat Games, and today we'll be exploring some of the combat in Cloudheim, our upcoming game blending crafting with physics-based combat. This is a Greeble, an aggressive little furball with a lot of teeth. You could hit him with a sword, but instead, let's kick him off this cliff. Greebles aren't the only threat out here though. You'll also fight against heavily armored enemies like armadillos who roll recklessly through your allies. You'll need to dodge their rolls and then attack when their guard is down. Corvins, however, keep their distance with ranged magic blasts. You'll want to pull them in close with your lasso to dish out damage. Our combat system is built around using physics to juggle your enemies. The longer you can keep enemies airborne with your kicks, lasso, and other abilities, the more damage they'll take when they finally hit the ground. Combine abilities and set up combos to maximize damage. Here, our character is placing down mushrooms and jump pads, bouncing enemies high into the sky. With the right combos, the battlefield will feel like a pinball machine.
I don't know if I love that,
Or
to
team
be
up with
honest with
friends
you.
in co-op for coordinated combo attacks. While you explore the islands in Cloudheim, you'll come across mysterious portals that lead to dangerous dungeons filled with tough enemies and rare loot for crafting. You'll grow in Cloudheim by mastering weapons to gain abilities along 4 class pathways, each excelling in a different style of combat. Spellblades supplement their attacks with elemental magic. Outlanders break armor to create weaknesses. Treasure hunters focus on speed to exploit weaknesses. And sentinels defend and heal the team when dealing damage. Choose the
I
weapons
love a
and
game
abilities
that
that fit
uses
your
different
style.
names to
You can freely switch your class
to
just by changing
build
your
out their
weapons,
classes.
allowing you to focus on your favorite or make hybrid builds. Team up with your friends to create absolute mayhem. Our team has had so much fun coming up with unique abilities and wild combos, and we're excited to see what chaos you can create. Now here's Nasher to tell you all the really important details about how to wishlist Cloudheim. Thanks, Nasher. In case you didn't get that, Cloudheim releases this year. Wishlist it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool looking game. I don't know. There's something about it that's really charming and feels like it could have a lot of potential. But I'm also kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good looking game. There's something here. I don't love the button mashy physics-based combat. That's a me thing. Like, I don't want to juggle enemies relentlessly. Like, that is a Devil May Cry thing that I have never clicked with. So I don't love that part of it. But, like, the world is charming. The enemies are charming. The idea of kind of seeing how all of these systems evolve. And I'm not talking about the combat systems. I'm talking about all the other systems, right? Pretty cool. Elban, thanks for becoming a Sentinel, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel. I think you're the first person to become a member of the channel since we started streaming. And I don't like promote it, right? Like I'm not doing this to have you guys become members, but it's very cool that you did. And I greatly appreciate that. That's pretty awesome. All right. This one is called Cloudheim. It's coming out this year at some point. We need to keep moving because we are running out of time. And there's a lot of games still to talk about. I'm going to just jump to the top. I saw this one. I just figured it was different than what we've looked at tonight. Pioneer, gameplay trailer number 2, Stalker meets Fallout. I feel like we've seen a game like this before, so I am very curious to see what this one is all about. I have not heard of this one either. So let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Elban, man, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Matt, what's going on, dude? Hope you're having a good weekend as well. Ready for the week. All right, guys, we're going to check out Pioneer here. Is there any details about this one? Blah, blah, blah. Marketing talk. Set to launch on PC in late 2025. Okay, here we go. That looks visually really good. Like, really good.
Invaders flee. We will create a new world on the ruins of the old one, as the great Raven bestowed.
We have wanted it to end this way. We offer our sincere condolences and hope you will die with that understanding.
I don't want to spoil it for you. All you need to know is that we're going to have an incredibly fun time together.
Was a mistake, and will continue to monitor you and your progress. Your actions are rapidly changing the course of events, and the general vector of changes is close to our worldview.
But here everything is strange. Our informant is weird. Our enemies are weird. The same goes for you too.
Yo, that looks really good. That looks really good. I am not one to typically like these types of games. Like, I like Fallout, don't get me wrong, but I don't usually just sit here with my mouth kind of open when these games pop up. There's something about the graphics that just immediately hooks me. There's a lot of contrast. The shadows are incredibly dark, and like those are nerdy things, but then like I don't know what it is. It is super cool looking. And I don't know, I genuinely don't know what it is about the graphics that is really like kind of pulling me in, but it absolutely is. There's some really cool stuff here, and the gameplay itself looks cool too, right? The gunplay looks really snappy. The UI elements just fit. Like, it's one of those games, like, you look at this game, and then you look like at a game like Imperial, and you just see the quality difference. And it's the care and attention put into every aspect of the game that makes it stand out. Like, that's what happens with these types of games. Like, even the XP that pops up on the middle of the screen feels like it fits in this game. It feels like it fits the theme of the game. And that's really important. On top of that, so you got the world that looks awesome. You've got UI elements that feel right. And then the gameplay looks pretty dang good. Like, the gunplay looks awesome. You've got some unique guns that they showcased. You've got melee weapons. I don't know why the guy never scopes. He always shoots from the hip, never down the sight, which I thought was kind of interesting. But, like, yeah, there's something here. There's something here. This one's called Pioneer. This one was released 3 days ago. 53,000 views. Not bad. I want to check out this trailer because this is another trailer. This came out 3 months ago, and it's got 83,000 views. So not a ton of people know about this game. You know, IGN, obviously, you know, love them or hate them. They are one of the bigger, you know, they are one of the bigger, if not the biggest market out there in terms of these types of games. So, you know, trying to market these types of games, I mean. So let's see if this one either sells us more on this game or helps us, you know, bring down the cope. Let's see.
Many people believe that we have a purpose, as if we had been brought to Tartarus for some reason. But they're deceiving themselves. Trust me, emissary. Will is the only thing that matters. It craves the hunger, aspiration, and the ability to challenge the island, to find a true desire. So, tell me, emissary, why are you here? What is your wish?
Oh, dude.
There are people that are just like me. The same kind of Hellraisers. We fight savagely with each other on the garbage dumps. Like to the death. We fight for the loot. You can end up dead anywhere. Literally kicking the bucket in the closest ditch. Keep your eyes wide open. Otherwise, they'll chew you to pieces. There are plenty of monsters around here. And it just so happens that the most dangerous of them walk on two legs. In general, you're better off roaming around the island with your own people. Your buddies will be there to help if something happens. However, there are even scarier creatures dwelling here. Creepy experiments. Monsters capable of putting dozens of our brothers in their graves. Run away from those kinds. As far as you possibly can.
Yo, this looks really good. Wow. I am very rarely just flat out impressed with a trailer, right? Like, I mean, they've shown a ton of gameplay, and I think that's a key to this, right? But, like, look at the world, man. The world looks really good. The gameplay looks really freaking good. It's an MMO, Allie? What? Like, what is happening with this game? Man, I love this. This is what I love about games, because every year, this happens every year, there are games that just come out of nowhere, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? Why wasn't that marketed? Why have I never seen a trailer about this game? And then all of a sudden, it's the next big game. Based on what I just watched with you guys, this could be huge. Could be a huge game. It could be an absolutely huge game because it's got all of the pieces. It's got, as far as I can tell, a really interesting dystopian world. It's got good gameplay mechanics in terms of, like, the combat. It's got co-op. It's got PvE. It's got PvP. It's got exploration. All of those underlying systems we know nothing about. Now, that's where the cautious optimism, which I always go into games with, comes from. Because everything I see here looks really cool. Okay, what's the what behind it, though? What are the systems? What are the, you know, the MMO systems underneath all of this? You know, do we have a hub? Do we build our own base? Are we taking quests? What is the long-term trajectory of the game? Because we're getting doses of fragmented parts of the game, right? This could be really interesting, guys. Keep an eye on this one. I'm saying it right here and right now. Keep an eye on this one, Pioneer, because this could be something. I gotta check now. Now I'm really curious if there is a playtest or anything like that. Pioneer. Planned release date 2025. Oh, invited a number of media and content creators to experience a demo version. Livid, do something. Do something here. Do this. How do we get into this? All right, we need to. I'm gonna snap a picture of this, and I'm gonna put it in my chat with Livid, so that I don't actually forget, because I got to reach out to these folks, because this looks really good. I want to see if there's any other pictures here that we didn't, that we already watched this. Pictures. All right, let's see. Saw that one. Okay, he's emoting there. That's kind of cool. So you got headgear, bracers, chest, pants, weapon slot 1 and 2, backpack special, and then you've kind of got a full inventory. I don't know what this is. Ballistic armor, fire armor, electric armor, bleed resistance maybe, health, hunger, speed, weight capacity, currency, and then, yeah, so we've got a task system. Then we've got a progress system. That's kind of fascinating. Livid, just do it, man. Like, just do things. Like, get us all the things. I feel like I was very clear about that. Come on now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of jazzed about this one. And I don't get jazzed about a lot of games anymore, but this one definitely looks like something special. All right, we got a couple more minutes here. I want to dive into whatever else is left. What do we got? Forever Skies, Mandragora. That's pretty much it. All right, let's go up to this one. Honor of Kings. World gameplay trailer. Open world co-op fantasy action RPG. All of the things that I like in my games for the most part. I want to see if this one is another banger or if this one is not for me.
Look, the wonder is just up there. But to access it, you still have a long way to go.
Okay.
Hey, I just got us a new dungeon mission.
Yeah, I can see it
Nope.
on the map.
Not
Let's
for me.
blast our way through.
Nope. Livid should have known better not to post this. No, this is not for me.
If you have a death wish, then come and fight me!
Watch out!
Yeah. I just, unfortunately, these types of games do absolutely nothing for me. Even though this is very clearly like a Wukong thing. And look, there's other trailers out there, right? So this is not the first trailer. You know, here's the deal. I've said this before. This is the type of game that I just don't like to play. It is an art style thing. It is a game style thing. It feels very much like a Phantasy Star, which I used to love back in the day when I was 13 years old, you know, playing on a Dreamcast in my cousin's house. But as a 34-year-old that, you know, is looking at a game like this, I'm like, no, this just does nothing for me. And I think this is a gacha game. I don't know if that to be true, and Livid, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like this feels like what Genshin is to me. And I know that's like kind of like generalizing, but there's nothing here that's interesting to me. Very large enemies, lots of shit on the screen, a progression system that is probably incredibly grindy, you know, 70, 80 levels worth of grinding. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. The world is so fantasy driven that it doesn't feel actually like connected to anything other than like being fantasy. And then this completely pulls me out of it. I mentioned I don't like floaty combat to begin with and like juggling enemies. Nope, it's not for me. Look, if you're interested in it, awesome. This one has more views on it than most of the other trailers we've seen tonight. That's okay, and that's great. It's just not my kind of game. So anyways, if this one is interesting to you, this is called Honor of Kings World, the official gameplay trailer. That's what we just watched. But yeah, Honor of Kings World. Not for me. Good for you. Just not for me. All right, let's see. We've got the Nightling. Yeah, let's go with the Nightling. This looks like a quirky little game just based on the image, the thumbnail here. I'm curious if this is like an action-adventure platformer, something like that. Clearly a different direction than the game we just looked at. It's another Saber game. I think Livid knows me too well because he knows that like a game like this is definitely something that I enjoy. Even though it's not like a wildly impressive game, it's quirky, it's charming. I think there is a genre of games that is just like falls into this like charming category, and I think that's what this game is. It's not wildly impressive. There's some cool mechanics like the like riding on the shield like a sled was kind of cool. The hang gliding was kind of cool. There's some combat stuff here. Yeah, the shield being the weapon platform, Liv, I think is what actually won me over too. There's some cool ideas here. I just don't know if like there's enough, I guess is the way to say it. This is definitely one of those quirky games that's got to be like $10. I don't know if that's actually the case. But but I'm now very curious. The Nightling. Oh, there's a demo. Look, if you want to check out the game, you can play the demo. Planned release is August 28th, 2025. Lighthearted, action-packed, full of character. Yeah, that's exactly what this game looks like to me. A lighthearted, fun game, small game. Let's see, Twirlbound. They haven't made anything else. Oh, they made Pine. Interesting. Pine was an okay game. I played a little bit of it. Another adventure game. Not bad. Okay, so they're just taking kind of another stab at kind of the charming, whimsical adventure game. That's not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, you can check out a demo. If this is the type of game that you like to play, you can check out a demo. I'm kind of bummed that this one never came up when I was doing my Steam Next Fest stuff. Oh, there's some swimming, too. We didn't see that in the other trailer. Nice. I mean, I'm into it. I just don't know how into it I am. I think that's the bottom line. All right, last one for the night, guys. What do we want to watch here? Metal Eden or Forever Skies? Let's do Forever Skies. This looks kind of fascinating to me. This is the release date and pre-order trailer.
Emergency landing procedure. Emergency landing procedure completed.
I love me a good airship.
Mission
I really
started.
do.
Find a cure for the virus. Send it to the space station. Save humanity. Updated. Go into Underdust. Find Noah.
Had a big old bug. Ooh, my gosh, it's getting to be that time. I actually think this looks better than the first trailer that we looked at a couple weeks ago. There's something here that feels a little bit more polished than before. And I don't know what it is. I like this whole concept of like above the skies. It's oh, hold on. Patrick is saying it's mostly a chill game, but they've recently added more creature interaction. Not a bad game at all. Okay, good to know. I didn't even know this was out. But yeah, that's what I kind of sense is like above the clouds is kind of relaxed. You build your airship, you fly around, and then you harvest resources, collect scrap, all those sorts of things. And then below the clouds in the like toxic zone is where you kind of do a little bit exploring. I would expect beneath the clouds to be intense for whatever reason, whether that's combat or environmental intensity. And then like, okay, what are you getting from those moments where you're kind of exposing yourself? I don't know. I don't know all of these systems, but some of the world showcases is actually kind of cool here. I think the first trailer that I saw didn't showcase the world in quite the same way. This feels a little bit better. I think the UI stuff is a little janky. Like I look at it, and we've talked about it a few times on the stream, right? There are a few things that I'm like, oh, when all of the UI kind of accompany the gameplay in a thematic way, it all kind of clicks a little differently than when you see something that's a little off. Right, and like this, let me just go back there. Well, let me see if I can stop it at the right time here. Right here. This is very futuristic, right? And it's actually not bad, but for whatever reason, like, it doesn't quite line up for, in my mind, for like how, like, I have no idea what those things on the bottom are. It's not inherently clear to me what they are. I'm sure after playing the game, it's very clear. But, you know, it's a pretty, like, generic futuristic UI. But then, like, there's the game is dystopian. So, I don't know. It's dystopian futuristic. There's something here. I think there is something here. April 14th is literally 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away, whatever it may be. So, we'll be able to check it out. But I think, is this one also a demo? I think there is a demo of this one. Wherever Skies. Oh, it's literally out? Oh, it's out in early access, going to 1.0 in April, I suppose. Wow, this has been out for 2 years? That's kind of crazy. Recent reviews mostly positive. All reviews very positive. Small game, only 5,000 reviews. Yeah, full release date revealed. Oh, that's what we just watched, that same trailer. Okay, so it's the full game releasing 1.0 in April. And then after that, there's an airship expansion, content update, and seasonal events. I don't know. Not quite sold on that roadmap, but anyways. Yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for me, too. I've got a work week. I will be back with you on next Sunday for another stream. We've got some Assassin's Creed Shadows videos coming out for you this week. We've got some more 33 Immortals, which Livid is playing. And hopefully, very soon, we'll have our hands on Expedition 33, because we are so excited about that game coming out at the end of next month. We're just going to keep the train rolling here, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the subreddit or the channel, do that. We're also over on TikTok. Our stuff on TikTok is doing Assassin's Creed right now, but we also just dropped our April's game video. So lots of stuff you can see from the channel and all of the different places. Discord, TikTok, YouTube, right here on stream. As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Join the subreddit, and we'll see you next week. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, myself, Livid, Schmo, Nas, and whoever else, Apollo, and Thick, thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Think about you. think about you.